I'm replacing a bathroom sink pop-up with a lift rod. This style has a flange that screws onto the top of the drain pipe. Put a small bucket or pan under the trap and loosen the nuts by turning them counterclockwise. This sink has an extension tube, so I'm removing that also. The strap connected to the lift rod is held in place with a clip. Slide it off the pivot rod that controls the stopper. Unscrew the nut for the pivot rod by turning it counterclockwise, then remove the rod. Unscrew the nut under the sink that's holding the pipe in place down as far as it will go and push up on the pipe. Lift out the stopper. Hold the top flange with adjustable pliers and unscrew the pipe from the top flange. Clean off the old plumber's putty or silicone. This sink has an overflow hole, so you want a pop-up drain with an overflow drain hole at the top. If you have a sink without an overflow hole, install a pop-up without a drain hole. For most pop-ups, you will use plumber's putty under the flange as your gasket. Stain-free plumber's putty is safe for most sinks, including plastic, granite, marble, quartz, sandstone, and corian. Knead a small amount of putty to soften it and spread about a ½ inch diameter all around the flange. Thread the nut on the pipe all the way down and push the gasket down. The beveled side faces up. Position the pipe under the sink with the threaded opening for the pivot rod facing the back of the sink cabinet. Push the pipe up into the opening in the sink and tighten the flange onto the pipe. Pull down on the pipe and tighten the nut under the sink. Keep the threaded opening for the rod facing the back of the cabinet and hold the pipe so it doesn't turn and break the seal that's made with your plumber's putty. Remove the excess plumber's putty. Put the nut onto the pivot rod. The pivot rod goes into a hole on the stopper. Drop the stopper into the pipe so the rod will go into the hole. Slide the pivot rod into the pipe and check that it's raising and lowering the stopper. Then tighten down the nut. Pull the pivot rod down fully so the stopper is raised. Line up the rod with an opening on the strap. Then pick a hole just below where it lines up so when you push down on the rod it fully opens the stopper and there's room between the top of the lift rod and the faucet. I'm reusing the old strap and lift rod. Slide half of the clip onto the pivot rod, then slide the pivot rod into the hole you want on the strap, then slide the other end of the clip onto the rod. Adjust the strap so it's vertical, then replace the trap.